Hi, welcome to Hot Topics TV, y'all. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This woman lost over 400 pounds, and then she dumped the guy that stayed with her all those years that she ballooned up to 400 and something pounds. Or I think she ballooned up to 600 and something pounds. She ended up losing 420 pounds altogether. If that ain't ungrateful for you, I don't know what is. The headline, though, for the article that I'm going to take this from actually says, the guy that lost her must be so mad at himself right now. Because she turned into a completely different person, as you could imagine, after losing over 400 pounds, right? But the funny thing is this. I see females post these all the time, or I see women posting these pictures all the time when they were big and heavy, and then when they got really small. And they're like, to my ex-boyfriend, eat your heart out. Or the guy that left me, this is for you. Listen, the funny thing is those guys don't care, because when the man was with you, he was probably trying to motivate you to lose some weight, and you would probably curse him out. You would probably tell him that you could still find somebody besides him, even though you're big, because there's guys out there who love big girls too. You probably told him all kinds of stuff. He probably tried to encourage you to go jogging in the park, to go exercising, to change your diet, and you wanted all your same fatty, greasy foods. You wanted to sit on the couch. You wanted to do what you were doing. And then at the end of the day, it's like, oh, look at me now. Eat your heart out. Nah, let somebody else have that problem. And the fact that you got to over 600 pounds before, you could possibly do it again. I guess you're going to do the whole cycle all over again. Anyways, I found it funny. This particular story, though, is about a young lady by the name of Amber Rochdie. And you could go look her story up. She was raised in Oregon, and it's said that her eating disorder dates back to when she was a young child. And by the time she was 5 years old, she was already 160 pounds. To put numbers into context, the average 5-year-old child should weigh about 39, 40 pounds. In other words, she weighed about 4 times more than what she should have been weighing around the time she was that age already. The weight seemed to center itself around her lower body and her legs. This made movement challenging for her, and she struggled with that every day. Morbid obesity. She had gained a whole bunch of weight as she grew up, and she got into a lot of situations that caused her to eat, emotional eating. I don't know. I've heard people say all the time, every now and then I will watch a show like My 600-Pound Life, and I would hear people say stuff like, when I was small, they used to tease me because I was already 150 pounds by the time I was 5 years old, and it made me go inside and lock myself in the house and eat even more. So by the time I was 10, I was 300 pounds. By the time I was 15, I was 400 pounds. And I'm like, I can't understand that, because usually if someone teases you, you try to get rid of what it is you're being teased about. If you tease an adult about their teeth, the first thing they're going to do when they get some money or some good insurance is fix their teeth, so you don't tease them about it anymore. You know, people get teased about their big belly all the time, and the first thing these women do is they get some liposuction, or they get some kind of procedure that helps them to lose that weight. So I don't understand how people go from normal to like over 600 pounds, and then they blame it on being teased all the time. But it's a journey going from being normal to being over 600 pounds. And during that process, you got to understand that a lot of stuff happens. For instance, at one point she weighed 657 pounds, right? And there was no doubt about the fact that the extra weight that she carried was having an impact on her quality of life. In fact, her mobility, her ability to move around and help herself, was affected to the point that she had to drop out of college. She was unemployed, and she had to move into her parents' house with her boyfriend. She had a boyfriend at 657 pounds, and that boyfriend stayed with her throughout the whole time. Now, Amber's weight was becoming more and more restrictive. The longer she dealt with her large limbs and her lack of mobility, is the more it was taking a toll on her independence. So her life was fading away as she knew it, right? She would later on have difficulty even completing tasks like self-hygiene, to remove her underwear, to clean her coochie, to wipe her butt, scrub her back in the shower, anything, washing between her legs. She definitely couldn't reach her ankles and her toes. And she was now becoming dependent, or she was now dependent on somebody that would do all that for her. And she turned to food more. She turned to food as a lifelong champion and source of comfort to deal with her sadness and her unhappy lifestyle, is what she said. She relied more heavily on food than ever before to make herself feel better after she had ballooned to 657 pounds. And she hoped that eating her favorite food would somehow change the way that she felt about herself. It had become a dependency and an addiction, and it was ruling her life. And not to mention, if you're 657 pounds and you're eating all your favorite foods, the pizza, the fried wings, fried chicken, mac and cheese, potato salad, you're only going to get bigger. So she was well on her way to 700 pounds and so on and so forth. Her parents and her boyfriend name was Rowdy. Her parents and her boyfriend, they would prepare food for her every single day. But their enabling behavior only made her eat worse. Because now she doesn't have to move around. She got people that would cater to her, including Rowdy, her boyfriend. This is what he did. Now, let's not act like we're naive. There's some men out there, and there's a special group out there. I forgot what they're called, like fat feeders or something like that, but they prefer morbidly obese women. And if you honestly ask me, I would say there's something wrong with those men psychologically. Maybe because they have issues, insecurity issues, and they feel like a woman that big, it's hard for her to cheat on you, right? It's like a woman that dates men from prison. She doesn't mind what he's doing behind bars, and she's not there to verify it. She'll take his word for it. He's not involved in any homosexual activities. He's pretending to be heterosexual only when he's actually bisexual. She don't care about all that. She just knows that he is in like Fulcum County Prison, and she knows where he's at, and she knows he's going to be there for the next 8 years, and he'll call and she'll answer his calls. She'll put money on his books. She'll go see him on visits, and she's free to do whatever she wants to do whenever he's not around. And if she doesn't want to speak to him on the phone, she just doesn't. She doesn't answer his phone calls, and there's nothing he can do, right? Same thing I see in men who like women that are like 600, 700 pounds. It's not healthy for her. So there's no way that somebody can be feeding you all your favorite foods that are killing you and telling you that they love you at the same time. It's more like you're not good enough for a majority of guys out there, so I'll have you all to myself. Also, you can't run and hide and cheat on me. I can pretty much see where you're at all the time because you're not even mobile anymore. I'm the one that had to wash your ass for you. I'm the one that had to change your underwears for you. You know what I mean? But anyways, Rowdy stuck around. Whatever fetish he has or whatever, he stuck around. She's now 657 pounds. He's around. He's in her parents' house with her. He's helping her parents prepare her meals, helping her to eat more and get bigger. Amber said she was sinking into depression and into her own reality where food ruled and she could lock the real world out. She believed that food would change her existence into a more positive one, but instead it made her feel way worse about herself. So a turning point came in her life, and she heard about this doctor that people were telling her that the doctor was really good at getting into people's psychological build-up, their mind, and also doing the surgery to help them to lose a lot of weight. And, she went and she did a consultation with this doctor, and the doctor told her some things that kind of woke her up. Then they put her on a TV show. So she decided to sign up for the TV show TLC, because if she signs up for the show, then all her treatment, her consultation, her surgery will be paid for by the show. This is stuff that she cannot afford. Remember, she's unemployed. She didn't even finish college. She dropped out. She can't even move. She's living in her parents' house, and she's just getting bigger and bigger. So she was in quite of a quagmire. And what she ended up doing was she signed up for the show, My 600-Pound Life. This series follows people who are morbidly obese as they address their challenges and they aim to lose weight. And she was worried that she was beyond help, but Amber and the world were in for a surprise. Listen, this woman took off. I can't even say she took off a whole other person. She took off a whole couple of people off herself. All right. In 2014, filming for the My 600-Pound Life started for Amber, and her journey began to take place after years of misery and weight gain. The show's producers, they decided to send her on a consultation with the resident bariatric surgeon, Dr. Yunan Nozaradan. And Dr. Yunan Nozaradan is actually really famous at what he does. So if there's anyone out there that's listening and you're in the same predicament, then Dr. Yunan Nozaradan is actually a good person to go hit up about this. You know, sometimes people are in too deep and they don't even know where to turn. The My 600-Pound Life stuff is still going on, so they might be able to make a new series with you. Anyhow, by the time that came around, she was just 23 years old, and her weight at 23 years old was 657 pounds. And simple activities like walking, like just walking a few feet, had become very impossible for her at 23 years old. She was miserable, and she couldn't even bathe herself. You know, she relied on scrub brushes and other adaptive devices to help her to even do her personal hygiene and stuff. So her family had to find ways of getting her into a plane, right, in the first place. And you should see the picture of them taking her through the airport. You know, when you land in the airport, they have that big buggy that you can put like 20 suitcases on. That's what they had to put her on and take her through the airport. Now, if you're 23 years old and you're that big and you're being pushed through the airport, a crowded airport, everybody's going to be looking at you. And I can only imagine how embarrassing that is. Right? All right. Boom. Especially now she started working on it. She started working on losing her weight after consulting with the doctor. They had prepared and allowed Amber to eat so much food over the years. Amber confessed that she gained 200 extra pounds since she had started dating Rowdy. This is where it comes in. Remember, I told you the guy that stayed with her till she was 657 pounds, she dumped him at the end of all this. After she lost over 420 pounds, she dumped him. And people are like, damn, why'd you dump him? He stayed with you through all that. I guess now she is getting all the male attention she needs from outside that she would dump him. It turns out to be way deeper than that. When she met Rowdy, she was only 400 pounds, right? By the time in the relationship with Rowdy, she gained an extra 200 pounds on top of what she already had before. Now, Rowdy's story is that he loved her so much that he just wanted to see her happy. And the only thing that made her happy was eating. And so he just facilitated, like, giving her all the things that she needed to be happy. So that's the way he was looking at it. He wasn't looking at it like, I'm going to put my foot down, and if you don't change the way you eat, I'm going to leave you. And guess what? She's mad at him for that. Whether she wants to admit it or not, she's mad at him for that. So now that she's lost all that weight, she's now saying, oh, I'm reevaluating my life, and I'm getting rid of toxic foods, and I'm getting rid of toxic people. She didn't get rid of her parents, though, but her parents helped Rowdy by moving him into the house with her and by helping him to cook her meals when she was eating for like 10 people. But she didn't remove her parents from her life, but she did remove Rowdy from her life. You see how funny life is, though? So at the end of it all, when she shows up She shows up with a engagement ring. She's in a new relationship. She's got a new man. She has a new body. She is now thinking about getting married and starting a family. And she's had the skin removal surgery because when you get that big, the skin has stretched so much that when you lose all the weight, the skin does not retract. It doesn't go back. So you'll have a lot of skin just hanging on. She got all the surgeries done. So she actually looks like she was never that big ever, right? So she's looking good now. She's feeling good about herself, has her mind under control. You know, she's valuing herself, seeing herself in a different light. Her self-confidence is out the roof, but Rowdy has to go. And she dumps Rowdy. So she tells the public, because they wanted to know, hey, where's Rowdy? We haven't seen him, and he was there with you through all of this. So she puts a public message out, and she tells the public it was an amicable split. Like, we both agreed that we were not good for each other, and we went our separate ways. I don't believe that shit. I think she resented Rowdy. He probably even said some things. See, one thing about it is women never forget. But most people never forget, period. Now, when couples argue, there are things that are said in the argument that they never go away. Even when you're pretending that they're gone, they never go away. That's why it's important to be careful what you're saying. As for instance, a woman's arguing with her man, right? And she goes, shut up, you needle dick motherfucker, you small dick motherfucker. I hate you. Okay, he's never going to forget that. And every time they go to have sex, he's going to be thinking in the back of his mind, well, she told me it was small when we were arguing, so probably this means she's used to bigger. I'm not good enough for her. You know, same thing for if Rowdy, might have said to her, shut up, you ugly fat bitch. That's why you're so big and fat. She probably never forgot that, you know, and years go by and now she's not that big anymore. And she's holding that. She's holding that. And she's looking at it as, you fed me that much because you wanted to control me. Because you knew how beautiful I would be if you weren't feeding me that much. And it would have been easier for me to lose my weight had you not been in my life in the first place. Because you helped me to destroy myself. So regardless of what, you have to go. Here's my question. Is she right for doing that? Or was that just grimy? I mean, it's her life to live, and I wish her all the best. And I'm amazed that she lost so much weight, because usually it's hard for people to lose that much weight. However, the part about loyalty, I don't know. I think she threw old Rowdy boy under the bus and went on with it. New life, new man, new everything. I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know, if the topic is hot, we're on it. I'm out. Peace.